Come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me send this out really quickly. That's what I'm working on. Come on in, come on in. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Today we're going to have a conversation. I'm trying to see. I'm going to have to plug this somewhere closer to me. I can plug it into my computer. Hello. Come on in. Today we're talking about tariffs versus trust. The battle for the high-performing entrepreneur, especially when she is a woman. So we're going to get into that today. So we're talking about tariffs versus trust, the battle of the high-performing woman. Hi there. Come on in. I am so glad to be back, y'all. I have been suffering, when I tell y'all, for about 2 weeks with some dental work issues, and I was pressed and stressed, y'all. And I'm happy to be back. I need to plug this up somewhere. And the healing process was beautiful, and I didn't have to take antibiotics. This is the beautiful part. There's an amazing herbalist who sells an herbal blend, y'all. If you've been running into issues with, like, some people, hold on, because I'm trying to get this in a church shot. Some people have been dealing with things like antibiotic resistance. And when I tell y'all, that stuff works. It's a woman on here by the name of Alexis, but her her website, or I think her page, is Sincerely Nature. She's the truth. Everything she sells over there is the truth. And I'm telling y'all can take that to the bank for me. I'm telling you. So if you need herbal supplements and you are not a person who likes to take antibiotics, she has a pill blend over there that will support you from, I can't even explain. Just go over there. Just go over there. Because when I tell you it did its job when it came down to me, it did its job, okay? But let me know in the comments where you're watching from, because we're going to have this good conversation, because there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of people are starting to see it. I've been seeing people talk about them shopping and different things like that, and they're starting to see the tariffs and different things that's going on. And so a lot of business owners, especially like high-performing women in business or high-performing women at a higher CEO level, they've been in a kind of a state of panic a little bit, just to kind of see, they're concerned. And so that's why we're having this conversation of tariffs versus trust, because the reality of the situation is that you need spiritual regulation over strategy. So a lot of people are doing a lot of pivoting, a lot of people are doing a lot of different things, but the reality of the situation is you need spiritual regulation over strategy. You need to be regulated. There are a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline, and if you've been following me for a while, okay, I've been telling you that these things were coming and these things were going to happen. So there's no need for you to be like all over the place. Sincerely Nature, you should be able to find her by typing in Sincerely Nature, and you'll be able to pull up her TikTok, and you'll see the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of testimonials of how she has helped so many women. She has helped me in a multitude of ways. If you're struggling with candida, if you're struggling with overgrowth, if you're struggling with viral, I'm telling you, go over there and get them. And if you're probably not going to be able to get them on a monthly subscription of how I have them, because I was on the monthly subscription before she got rid of it. But trust me when I tell you, you want to go over there and go get it. Okay? But anywho, so we're going to be talking about the tariffs versus trust, the battle of the high-performing woman. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I am a mentor to women of wealth and influence. And what I do specifically is I mentor high-caliber women to master the following: wealth, influence, and power. So my work has looked like my clients being able to become full authorities in their lives that have supported them in going from 5 figures to 6 figures and 6 figures to multi 6 figures, as well as I've supported my clients in losing weight. I used to be over 100 pounds heavier myself. I have supported my clients in mastering their emotions so that they start attracting better relationships. And when I talk about relationships, I'm not just speaking about romance. I'm speaking about relationships in general, because what I have realized about a lot of women is that a lot of women don't even know how to do friendship, let alone speaking about doing a relationship with someone else. A lot of us don't know how to do friendship well. So the deepest relationship that you have is going to be with the one that created you. However, the widest relationship that you have is going to be with yourself, meaning that it is going to be the most expansive, meaning it is going to take the most time. There's so much ground for you to cover when it comes down to actually getting to know and being deeply rooted within yourself. So I support my clients in that way. And a lot of people kind of ask, so what is it that you actually do that supported your client in going from 0 to like 15K in less than 20 days? What did you do to support your client in reversing her liver damage? Correcting her A1C, losing 40 to 70 pounds? Like, what are the things that you are doing? What are you doing for your clients that are supporting them that? And what I'm doing specifically is I'm helping them get to the root of their energetics. As a woman, there are 3 things that you need to be very clear on while you're walking around this earth. Number 1, you should be very clear on law. And when I speak about law, I'm not speaking about the legal system. I'm speaking about spiritual law. Because everything that happens in your reality starts in the spirit realm first. And if you are not solidified, if you are not grounded, if you are not rooted in who you are spiritually, in your spiritual identity, you are going to struggle mentally by overthinking. You're going to struggle emotionally by consistently being reactive. And your physical world is going to show up in a state of chaos consistently, okay? So I support my clients in coming out of that. And all of the things start from you literally starting from the spiritual space, okay? So I have a method on self-care, which is spiritual self-care first, mental self-care second, emotional self-care third, for physical self-care fourth, and then financial self-care fifth, and then social self-care. So we have 5 levels of self that we have to deal with before we even think about adding someone else in the mix. Because if your spirit ain't right, your mind ain't right. And if your mind ain't right, your heart ain't right. And if your heart ain't right, that body is going to start picking up the elements of what is not right within that heart, okay? And it is going to impact you financially, and it is going to impact you socially. So if you want to improve these things and you don't like the way your life is looking, then you have to deal with the source. You have to deal with the root issue. And so we're going to get into a bit of that today, because a lot of women want to be in a space and ask for things like, I want to be more feminine, or I want to be more in my feminine energy, when in reality the feminine is attracted to structure and stability, which is why a lot of women are asking for, I want this type of masculine, I want that. Here's the thing that you have to understand as a woman. Right now, if you are single and you are by yourself, no one is coming to save you. This is a mindset that you need to develop for yourself. No one is coming to save you, and because no one is coming to save me, I need to make decisions that are going to set my life up so that I am stable, so there is the proper structure, so that I can flourish in my femininity. Because if you are waiting on someone else to come and set that up for you, you are sadly mistaken, and you are setting yourself up for failure. And I do not want you to do that to yourself, okay? Thank you so much for these likes and these gifts. Do me a favor and drop a purple heart in the comments to let me know that you are present. Normally on Tuesdays, I used to do, I do emotional intelligence or something around emotional intelligence. And so today what we're talking about is tariffs versus trust, the battle of the high-performing woman. We're really going to tap into the space of like, are y'all really trusting? Do you really trust? Or do you have more trust in these tariffs? Okay? Hey, my love. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and get into it. This is not just business talk that we're going to be having today, okay? This is literally a spiritual audit that we're going to be looking at. It's a call for high-performing women who is checking the market more than they're checking, more than they are checking their spirits. You are not here to react to the things that are happening in the world. You literally are here to govern yourself accordingly. I think a lot of people get it very confused, and they have forgotten when it talked about in scripture how we are to have dominion on this earth. The only way for you to have dominion on this earth is for you to have dominion over self, being able to regulate self, being able to manage self. If you cannot manage yourself, meaning i.e., self consists of your time, your energy, your attention, and your money. If you don't know how to manage those things, then you do not know how to manage self. because you are made up of these things. You are made up of time, you are made up of energy, you are made up of attention, and you are made up of money, which automatically, innately makes you valuable. The issue at hand that a lot of people have is that you don't realize the value of your time, the value of your energy, the value of your attention, but you like to trip and be like you understand the value of money when you really don't, because you don't understand the value of yourself. And when you don't understand the value of yourself, you mistreat yourself. And because you cannot be an energetic match for anything other than yourself, because you always meet yourself, you attract other people who treat you less than you believe, or that you say you believe than you deserve. But the reality is that you believe that you deserve this type of treatment, which is why you treat yourself that way. And other people coming into your space that treat you on the same type of vibrational state are nothing but reflecting exactly who you are. And a lot of us don't like to deal with the reality that we don't really care for ourselves the way that we say we do, the way that we put on, the way that we act. There are a lot of women who are out here making multitudes of money who cannot stand their own reflection. There are multitudes of women out here who are making boatloads of money and who are doing extremely well financially, who are crying and crushed and chaotic behind closed doors, okay? So we need to get this together. You're not here to react to the things that are happening in the world. You're here to govern yourself accordingly. The future belongs to the women who actually know how to govern themselves accordingly, because it makes a huge difference. So like I said, this is not about the tariffs. As much as everyone is like going ham and looking at everything, it's not about the tariffs. It's about trust. And what you need to understand is that trust is the true currency of feminine wealth. So if you are calling yourself operating according to your feminine design, if you are calling yourself a feminine entrepreneur or a feminine woman, understand that trust is the true currency of feminine wealth, because the feminine understands that she is always going to be provided for no matter what. I want you to search for yourself and seek in scripture, where have you seen that the daughters of the Most High that were on target, that were on plan, where did you see them ever suffer in the family? When did you ever see them suffer during cycles in times of famine? They still were flourishing. And these are the things that you really have to pay attention to. Global shifts are not your threat. I know a lot of people are kind of stuck on that, like, oh, we weren't about. Global shifts are really not your threat. The market is shifting, yes. The tariffs are shifting, yes. The taxes are tightening, yes. But for high caliber women, these are literally distractions, because we understand what is really going on. What pisses me off, and I'm just going to go and get into it. What pisses me off about people who operate in business or who operate at a high level and state that they are believers, it pisses me off when you get so distracted by the things that are being talked about. The tariffs, the market, the taxes, all of these things. You don't see these things as they are. You don't see them as the distractions that they are to get you off task. Things have been happening in society since the beginning of time. Y'all think this is the first time? Y'all think this is the first time that society has experienced all kind of famine type of experiences, or the country and different stuff has been broke? Y'all think this is the first time that people are going through a recession? And it is the first time? It's not. Things have been happening since the beginning of time. And so the fact that you allow yourself to be distracted by something, and what really pisses me off about believers is that you understand that you've been raised your entire life, supposedly, by this book that is letting you know that times are coming where things are going to shift and things are going to change and things are going to get difficult. And here you go, so-called engulfed yourself in this book all your life, but here you go panicking as soon as they start talking about tariffs and they start talking about taxes. Your trust goes out the window. Trust is the highest and the truest form of feminine wealth. When Eve got here, she didn't ask what lights were. She didn't ask what they were going to eat for lunch or dinner or breakfast. She did not ask where were they going to live. She just was. She just allowed herself to be. She stayed in her position and had her own plots of land in heaven that she was responsible for. Make sure you go and you really read the scripture, read the Apocrypha, read the Ethiopian Bible, so you can gain an understanding of the women that came before you. These women were not distracted by the foolishness, not the ones that were truly focused. Not the ones who really kept their eyes on the vision, who really understood. These women were not allowing themselves to become distraught and operate from spaces of desperation. It really makes me sad to see women operating from this space of desperation and just distraughtness. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It literally tells you, and if you don't know, you've seen it, and you've heard people talk about the verse about don't being anxious, but I'm going to give you one that actually is in the book of Maccabees that's in the Ethiopian Bible that talks about don't be anxious about riches specifically. It says, don't be anxious about riches, for they come and they go with the wind. But the woman who trusts in the Most High will never lack what she needs to fulfill her purpose. Y'all don't piss me off. Like, be for real. Where is your trust? Where is your belief? The reason why a lot of you cannot operate in your feminine energy is because you lack the true currency, which is trust, meaning you lack faith, meaning you do not believe. Out of all the things that you have been brought through, all of the things that you've been able to do, all of the successes that you've been able to create externally, you still lack belief. And there are a multitude of women like that have built multi-million-dollar businesses. I'm telling you because I've worked with them. I work with your doctors. I work with your nurse practitioners, your nurses, your attorneys, your therapists. All of them come to see me and to come and work with me. And I am telling you that people are putting on one face here, and behind closed doors, they are crashing. They are crashing because they are not rooted spiritually in what they claim they believe. And I'm telling you, the reason why a lot of you are suffering with anxiety and suffering with anxiousness is due to your belief. And if you don't believe me, let's get into it. Let's work the formula of how an anxiety attack even comes about. Let's get into it. You go to the doctor. Some things been going on with you. You already feel anxious and you're going into the doctor, and guess what? The doctor gives you some form of diagnosis, and because you have so much belief in what this doctor says, immediately when you hear that diagnosis, what do you start doing? You start processing it as if it's already a part of your identity. And when the panic sets in from the belief in your mind that this is permanent or whatever the case may be, then the panic begins to set in within your chest. Then you start to feel it, and then you start to get emotional, and all these different type of things start to happen. And then all of a sudden you have a full-blown anxiety attack. Why? Because you don't know what the future holds. Why? Because you can't control what's happening. Why? Because you don't know the outcome. And that is literally the root of your anxiety. And the thing about it is, the crazy part about all of this is you're not even a fortune teller, and neither is your doctor. So that person nor yourself can determine exactly if this is going to be your destiny. But if you choose it for yourself by committing to that belief alone, then this is how you find yourself in a consistent state of anxiety. It is just that simple how it happens. Anxiety is rooted in the fact that you lack control of something, you don't know the outcome, and you are afraid of the unknown. But how about let's go ahead and rewire that real quick, so let's get you into reality. You can't control nothing but yourself. This is why self-control is a fruit of the spirit, not controlling other people. See, all that anxiety about what you can't control, you can't control nothing but yourself anyway. So get yourself together and adjust yourself. You can't control anything but yourself, number one. Number two, if you are worried about an outcome of a scenario, it is showing how faithless you truly are. Because why do you think that the Most High would allow you to come into a space, be great, do all these amazing things, and not see you all the way through the process to the end? It is your lack of belief that is causing you to worry. And it tells you in scripture not to worry, but it does not tell you scientifically why. Let me go ahead and help you out. Scientifically, if you worry, you weaken your immune system by weakening your spleen. That is what happens. And when you throw the spleen out of balance, the spleen cannot work with the stomach the way it needs to. And this is why you go to the doctor and they tell you have IBS. And then you start to wonder after this IBS, why you're starting to have issues with your menstrual cycle. All of these things play a role and go directly into that. All because you're stressing about the tariffs. All because you lack the true currency of feminine wealth, which is trust. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. All because you are missing that. All because you're not rooted in your belief. You worried yourself sick. Ain't that what the old people used to say? That is a true thing. You can worry yourself sick. That is most definitely a thing. Again, which is why it tells you in the book of Maccabees, one of them, don't be anxious for riches. For they come and go with the wind, but the woman who trusts in the Most High will never lack what she needs to fulfill her purpose. If you are operating according to what it is that you're supposed to be doing, what is assigned to you, then how could this be messed up? Why are you anxious? Like, really, don't piss me off. It really is your belief. It is your lack of belief. And without belief, it is impossible to please. So as much as you are running around like a chicken with your head cut off, your faithlessness, all that work you doing is rooted in faithlessness and in hustle. It is not pleasing the one that created you. So if you think that you are sadly mistaken. You are really playing yourself. You are positioning yourself to be played. You are positioning yourself to fall down because you are doing it from a space of performance and not from your authentic energy and who you are as a woman in your authentic design. You are doing something because you believe that this is going to get you what it is that you think that you want. And it's not. It's truly not. So it's not about the markets. It's not about the tariffs. It's not about the taxes. It's about your trust. It's about, or your lack thereof. Because that is really what is happening. And let's talk about this from a space, even if we go from scripture to universal law, because this universe has laws that governs it. The universe is an algorithm. It's nothing but a large algorithm. It is nothing like a huge, huge, huge algorithm. And what it does is that it simply responds to the things that you like and engage in with your thoughts, with your energy, with your action, with your words, all of these things, vibrational state, all of those things impact the universe. And the universe is going to respond exactly to what you put into it. So the minute you lie to yourself, you attract lies. You welcome lies into your space because a lie is welcome in your house because you will lie to yourself. And it's not even big lies. It could be the smallest thing. It could be the absolute smallest thing. I'm going to start taking better care of myself. And then you don't do that. And then you attract somebody into your space who appears like in the beginning that they're going to take care of you and do all these things. But you're not an energetic match for a person to take care of you because you don't take care of yourself. You don't reflect that. So that's not something you're going to be able to sustain. It's the smallest thing that you can do that can turn your entire world upside down. Okay? Shalom says it's the smallest thing that you can do to turn your world upside down because you simply dishonor yourself. Like it tells you when it comes down to the law of correspondence. Okay? If you are dysregulated on the inside of you, it will show up in your finances. It will show up in your launches. It will show up in your leadership. And it will show up in your love life. All of these things are a reflection of you. One thing I always love to say is that, baby, you're going to always meet yourself. You're going to always meet yourself. That's the thing. You're going to always meet yourself. You think that you are meeting someone and you don't understand why they're treating you the way they're treating you or why they're acting the way they're acting with you when you are not realizing that this is a reflection of yourself. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts. I greatly appreciate them. Let me be very clear on this. The economy, okay, didn't destabilize your business. Your fear did. All is if you hit a block in your business, it's not the economy. It's not that people aren't spending money. Like, don't make me mad. I want you to really think about this for a second. You spending money? So if you're spending money on the things that you deem to be valuable in this season, do you not think other people are spending money on what they deem to be valuable in this season? They absolutely are. The reality is the economy did not destabilize your business. Your fear did. The tariffs are not going to kill your offers. Your lack of trust is. The lack of trust in the vision that was given to you to execute. You want to go do something else. See, how you going to pivot from purpose makes no sense for me. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense for you to pivot from the actual purpose of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. The purpose never changes. The way you do it may be in a different avenue and all these different things, but the original purpose, the original vision doesn't shift. It doesn't shift. I have gone through many pivots, but my message and what I do has never shifted. It's only elevated. You don't pivot away from the purpose of what it is that you're actually supposed to be doing. The issue at hand, again, is not the taxes or the tariffs killing your offers. It is literally your lack of trust. You don't trust that the Most High is going to cover you as tariffs go up. You don't trust, as people say, if you don't make more taxes, you got more trust in the taxes, the tariffs, and everything else that's tightening up instead of the one that created you. And that's why your coin is trapped up. That's why your coin ain't consistent. That's why your coin ain't consistent, because you lack trust. The reality of the situation is, I want you to see yourself. And I want you to be honest with yourself. You dropping a product, but you shrinking. You set a price, but then you apologizing with your tone. You creating a product, and then you second guess the power of the product to be able to produce results. Even though you know that this is what it is. This is not strategy. This is spiritual sabotage that you're doing. All that shrinking, apologizing, and second guessing. That's not what women who operate in their full power do. That's not women who understand that the Most High put the battery in their backs do. We don't shrink. We don't cry about tariffs. We don't cry about egg prices. We don't cry about those things. We get in position to understand that money is to be made. And let's go ahead and tap into this real quick, especially for those who went to school and who have student loans. The reality of the situation, and I don't think you're paying attention to what's really happening here, but they plan on, if you got too much debt, you ain't gonna be able to travel. See, all this traveling, all this riding around and thinking, you ain't gonna be able to do all this traveling with all this debt. You think they gonna let y'all leave their country and you have all that debt? So then people are like, well, what do I do? What do I do? It's not about what do you do. It's about getting yourself in position to receive, because the money is being spent every day. People are closing $25,000 deals, 10K deals, 50K deals every single day. You are just not in that room because you are not positioning yourself up. That is what they're trying to do. If you don't position yourself and get yourself together, you're going to be messed up. They're trying to make it to where you cannot travel because you have all of this debt. So settle the debt. Don't succumb to it. Settle it. You need to be figuring out how you can advance. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to think, what skills I have on the inside of me to advance my business so much further to where someone would pay me $25,000 for this type of value. But see, you got to understand and know that value is within yourself and stop spiritually sabotaging. You want to apologize for pride. You want to be affordable. You want to do all of these things that do not align with you and wonder why you're not ascending. Being affordable, being affordable is not a part of your ascension plan. You need to leave that to the corporations like Walmart. You need to leave that to the corporations like that. They can afford to do that type of thing. You can't afford to do that. You can't. You don't need, y'all are so worried about being affordable, and y'all are so worried about, let me stay in my community and let me help my community. Let me piss y'all off real quick. You cannot help the community if you still in the community. You need to go get the money and then come back to the community. Y'all have it wired and confused and really messed up. You're trying to be affordable and wondering why you're not ascending. You need to get in alignment so that you can ascend, and then you can afford to support those in the community. You got the order all mixed up. And because of that, you are hating what it is that you do. You are hating your business. You are hating the very thing that you have been called to do, when beforehand you was all happy about it, ready to tell everybody how you start this business and how you doing all this stuff. Now you're over here crying, wondering if this is something you need to be doing because you talking about the tariffs. Don't piss me off. It's your lack of trust. It's your lack of faith. And most importantly, it is your lack of spiritual rooting and your spiritual security that is up here, because it's out of your beliefs. You understand what I'm telling you? Out of your beliefs comes insecurity and security. And you lack belief, which is why you're so worried about the taxes, the tariffs, the what's going up, the debt. You're worried about all those things instead of getting in alignment to receive the things that you need to be able to tackle these things. Because money is being spent every day. And as much as you want to sit around here and think that people are doing these cutbacks and they're doing this, people are cutting back on things, but they still spending and doing what they want to do. So don't talk to me about you want to be affordable. You need to work on being in alignment so that you can ascend. And then you come back to the block and you do what you need to do. Y'all got this thing so confused. How you going to help somebody and you in the same scenario as them? And then you're trying to figure out why nobody's coming to rescue you. Don't miss me, y'all. Spiritually sabotaging your own self. You have no strategy. And it's because you're not spiritually rooted. You sabotaging. Now let's get into the space of the tariff brain who's focused on what's happening in the world versus the trust body. Okay? You speak, a lot of women, a lot of you out here just speaking of freedom, but you design things from fear. You want to be free. You want to be free to be in your feminine energy, but you don't like stability and structure. Baby, that means you don't like money and you don't like men. Did you hear what I just said? You want to be free. You want to do what you want to do. You want to be out here just whatever. But you don't like structure and you don't like stability and you rebel against routine. What you're telling me is that you don't like money and you don't like men. But then the crazy part about it is you go desperate trying to get men and trying to get money. Not realizing that you are doing all of this from a space of fear. That's what you're doing. And it's not making any sense. You're claiming that you're a woman of sovereignty, but your nervous system is still outsourcing safety in the form of a man. Don't piss me off. Because not y'all out here outsourcing your love and other people from other people and wondering why you attract narcissistic men. Not you out here outsourcing safety, demanding that a man protects you when you won't even protect yourself by sticking to a boundary. Don't piss me off. Really? You are out here outsourcing your power, hoping that someone else will pour into you when you won't even pour into yourself. It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense. Let me show you the signs of emotional dysregulation, okay? And let me tell you, let's talk heavy because let's talk about it in the form of business. Needing clients to payments to make you feel grounded. See, you don't feel like a woman, or you don't feel successful, or you don't feel like you're doing anything if clients aren't paying you consistently. See, you have it in your mind that clients are paying you, that you depend on client money, so you cater or you succumb or be a slave to your clients instead of actually putting them on the path that they need to be on. See, my client payments don't pay me. The Most High pays me. My obedience pays me. Now, if it just happens to come through the form of another human being, you understand what I'm saying? If that is the way that I receive it, then that is the way that I receive it. But the Most High is who pays me. I don't depend on client payments, because if I depended on client payments, if you understand that entrepreneurship, like my friend Coach Jay says, entrepreneurship is a spiritual assignment. You understand that in entrepreneurship, baby, you could be Monday on zero and all the way Tuesday on zero, Wednesday on zero, Thursday on zero, Friday get a $10,000 payment. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. If you understand entrepreneurship, you understand it could be like that. You could have 29 days of low payments, and then on day 30, somebody pay you $25,000. That is literally how the game can go. It is literally about sowing seeds and reaping the harvest, and never knowing how and when that harvest is going to. This is what this is. That is a faith walk. Do you understand what I'm telling you? This is a faith walk. This is a belief walk. And a lot of y'all got in business to make money, and y'all ain't rooted in your beliefs. And that's why you ain't getting no bag, and why you ain't got no peace on top of that. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. That y'all are missing it. Y'all are missing it. You really believe that you need client payments to ground you, to make you feel like something, to make you feel like somebody? Child, money is always coming to me. Let me tell y'all about a scenario. I was on the trip minding my business, being obedient. And I went to Arizona. And I met this amazing woman, and she was in, and we talked about what we did, and she's independently wealthy, right? And that woman recently got back in contact with me, and we were talking. It was so amazing. She had so many different things, and we just were really relating, right? That woman invited me to her home to come in Vancouver You should come to Vancouver and stay with me for a couple of days. I would love to do this. I would love for us to do this. And you, baby, and I'm going. All because I was minding my business and I was being unobedient. And she was just like, I want you to come. Let's do this. And she's heavily connected. I love what you're doing. I love this. I love that. Sweetheart, y'all be out here talking. Y'all be out here worried about houses and homes and different things like that. But if you just put yourself in alignment, you can meet people who would say, hey, would you come house sit for me? Hey, I live here and I need someone to watch my house for like a month. I had a client who literally needed somewhere to live within 3 weeks of us having a session. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We had the session July 6th of last year. By August 6th, sweetheart, she had signed a new lease on a cottage. She had got on 200 acres of land. She had did all these things, and it was all via connection. She was looking for other mothers to be able to support her and, you know, raise children together in a community. She found all that within 3 weeks. And after we had our session and we talked and we dealt with her energetics on 200 acres of land. Do you hear what I'm telling you? 200 acres of land. Baby, I was crying, bawling when she sent me that email. Bawling. Because she was bawling on that call with me. And we were getting her energetics together. Yep, Courtney, you remember. Bawling. Baby, I was bawling when I got that. But I'm not surprised because this is what happens when you position yourself and get yourself in alignment. Alignment looks like, I'm going to explain a little bit more about alignment down the line, Germany. But I'll explain it like this. I'll give you this visual. Alignment is, the perfect example of alignment is the catcher on the baseball field. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. When you think about the catcher on the baseball field, the catcher has to be at the right place at the right time with the right material. Okay? Doing the right thing. That is what alignment looks like. And it's so well, that it's so good that you're in that space, you're able to catch whatever it is that is yours. So the things that matter, okay, have to be put first. They have to be put first. So alignment has to be your top priority, being at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right materials. A lot of people have the right thing, right, or doing the right thing, right time, right material, wrong place. Wrong place. Wrong place. When you are not in the right place, it doesn't matter what tools you have. It doesn't matter what things that you can do. You're still not going to receive because you are trying to do these things in the wrong place. A perfect example of this, and I don't work with a whole lot of people who work 9 to 5s, but a perfect example of this is people who work in 9 to 5s. A lot of people go to 9 to 5s trying to advocate for these corporations to care about you. You are trying to advocate for a corporation to care about you. Advocating for yourself is proper. Making sure that you are treated well is proper. Trying to do it with a corporation that doesn't care about you is not proper. You're doing it in the wrong place, and you're wondering why you're frustrated and why you're not receiving the things that you want. Let's switch this into relationships, because we like to talk about relationships, right? See, no matter what you do for that man, no matter how you support that man, no matter how you take care of all of these things, that man still does not put you in the position that you feel like you deserve, or the one that you feel like you should be receiving, because you are doing it in the wrong place. It doesn't matter if you're doing all the right things with all the right material and all these things. If you are sitting in the wrong environment, you are not going to receive the things that you desire. There is such a law known as the law of proximity. And you need to pay attention to what is in your environment, in your proximity, and what you are allowing yourself to be exposed to. Because a lot of us think that we're supposed to receive all these things, but you can't receive it because you won't get up from the very environment that's poisoning you. It does not make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And wondering why you were emotionally dysregulated, out here needing client payments to feel grounded. You over here obsessing over algorithm shifts. My content's not being seen as much. Oh my God, this is what's happening with this, and I'm not being able to do this. Let me tell you something. What is an algorithm to the Almighty? Like, really don't make me mad. What is an algorithm to the Almighty? What is the algorithm? What is a algorithm to the one who created the ultimate algorithm, which is the universe? What is an algorithm to the Almighty? See, I'm trying to understand. Why are you obsessing over the algorithm instead of showing up in alignment and knowing that the people that need to see it are going to see it, the ones who are going to resonate with it are going to resonate with it, the ones who are going to implement it are going to get the results. Point blank, period, the end. Why are you obsessing over algorithm shifts? Baby, I'm never tripping about the algorithm. Because I'm always on time. As long as I'm operating according to divine timing and I'm in alignment, I'm always on time. I'm always on time. And the posts that's supposed to hit are the ones that are going to hit. And the people who it hits, they're going to get in position. They're going to be ready. One of the affirmations that I say all the time, my ideal client is always prepared to pay me, sweetheart. Always prepared to pay me. People happily pay me for me being me, but that is me being in alignment. And you need to understand that. When people understand the value of your presence, they will pay you for it. You don't understand the value of your presence, which is why people don't pay you. You obsessing over the algorithm. You changing your offer because somebody else went viral. See, you changing your offer and what you doing because somebody else went viral and you think that doing what they do is going to get you where you want to be. See, this is exactly what I be talking about when y'all think that you can symphon energy and you can destiny swap. See, you think you can symphon energy and you can destiny swap with somebody else by mimicking what they do. And I just had a conversation about this in the videos on YouTube about she's not your sister, she's your liability. This is how women come into your space and they snake you all the time. They snake you by starting off asking you what kind of perfume you wearing and where you get this from and what's going on. And then you trying to figure out how she looking like you. Because she is thinking that if she symphons you and symphons your energy and what it is that you're doing, that she's going to get the same reaction. She's going to get the same type of energy. She wants to destiny swap. She wants to get that type of, make that type of impression. When in reality, you can't do that. Because energetically and universally, it's not going to work. You're not an energetic match for that. What you are doing is coveting. And this is why y'all need to get people out y'all face, because y'all don't even understand the 3 levels of how it gets to the state of envy when people actually do something to you. Let me tell you something. It starts with a little coveting. It starts with a little bit of coveting. Oh, I want that. Oh, I wish I must be nice. See, it starts with a little bit of coveting. Then it goes into the state of jealousy. Well, we really start speaking a little bit more about it, but you ignoring it because you just ain't thinking that you're not paying attention. But then it graduates to the state of envy. And what you need to understand is that envy is the spirit of envy is what made Cain take out his own brother. And some of you have envious people around you because you didn't check it when coveting started. So you didn't check it at the bottom. You are changing your whole everything because somebody else got a reaction that you desired and that you wanted, not realizing that they had to put in a different level of work. See, a lot of y'all want the external result but don't want the internal process, which is why a lot of women are not taken seriously and are not respected by men and not even in society because y'all don't want to make real decisions. Y'all just want to shortcut the process. You want the results. You want the results because the process is too difficult for you. The process is a bit, but you want to look like forward progression. It doesn't work that way. There is no cheat code to forward progression, baby. You're going to have to go through the process. And a part of understanding the process is understanding that you have your own lane. You don't alter your offer because you saw somebody else go viral and you think you can mimic their formula. You can't mimic energetics. I don't care how much you try to copycat. I don't care you can put on the whole outfit. Sweetheart, I could run you down my entire formula of how I do business and you still won't do it like me because I am the secret sauce. What you have to understand is that you bring a certain uniqueness to something. to this world. And if you don't know how to use that, if you don't know how to amplify that, if you don't know how to access that, if you don't know how to elevate that, you will always try to imitate everything else. Imitation is not the greatest form of flattery. It is not. It is a step beneath coveting. You understand what I'm telling you? It ain't cute. It ain't attractive. It ain't none of that. And you need to get yourself together on that. Because that is the absolute truth. Changing your offer because somebody else went viral. Starting to mimic them because you think that they making more money. You think you going to call in money. Baby, let me tell you something about money. The energetics of money. Let me help you out with it real quick. Money only. Keyword only. And you may as well put men in this. But I'm going to do it on the second half. Money only locks in with high vibrational state, alignment, and value. Do you understand what I'm telling you? People don't give their money unless they value what you're selling. People don't give their money, okay, unless this is going to make them feel better, feel good, feel different, feel something that they're craving. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Money is not going, people are not going to give you their money if this is not in alignment with the result that they want. Let's bring this down to men because money is masculine. Let's talk about it. So let's even get into it when it comes down to men. How is it that you can turn around and be with me and then turn around and be with this other person? And how can you do this? Because men lock in with what they value at that time. Keyword at that time. Men lock in with what makes them feel good. High vibrational state at that time. Okay? Men lock in with what is in alignment with them at that time. Keywords. And when you understand the dynamics and the energetics of money, you begin to understand the dynamics and the energetics of men, which is why you don't get jealous or pissed off if a man decides that he wants somebody else, because he is simply choosing what is in alignment with him at that time, what is of value of him value to him at that time, and what makes him feel good at that time. So while you trying to obsess all over yourself and stalk that girl and do this and do that to try to figure out and what's she doing to be able to do that, it has nothing to do with any of that. It all has to do with energetics and what aligns at that time, what's a high vibrational state at that time, and what is of value at that time. Period. You really need to stop getting offended by people's decisions and choices and understand yourself and understand your own value, and you won't be out here trying to see, well, why you with her? Or why she get that? Or why this happening? This is how you start the process of coveting, because you don't understand the value in yourself. You're too busy looking at other people thinking they're more valuable than you, and that's why they must have chose them, because they're better than you. Please don't piss me off with the foolishness. And women who have that same mindset alter themselves at core, which is dangerous. And I always tell women all the time, if you have a woman around you, okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these comments, and these likes. If you have a woman around you and she alters her core in front of a man, I stand on this, I stand on this, I stand on this. I don't care how nobody feel about it. You could say that she's male-centered. I ain't even gonna go there. A woman who will alter her core and change who she is in front of a man is the same woman that'll your throat behind one. That's what you better know. It's the same one that will your throat behind one. If she will alter and shapeshift and do all these different things to be able to appease, to get the approval, to get the energetics, to get the attention, you better know. You better know that she is the same one that will your throat behind one. Because what we have to be honest about, see, I don't play the games, because we as women have to really stop doing, we really have to stop. So let's go ahead and get into the fact that women are way more vicious, visceral, and violent than men. It's just not physical. See, the type of games we like to play are psychological and emotional. Thank you, Angela. Psychological and emotional. See, that's why y'all like to get on lives and get in people's comments and try to pick them apart for, the way that they look. This is why you come and you try to do teeter-totter little things like that. That's what those type of women, that's how most women operate. Women are just as primal as men. Just as visceral, just as violent, all of that. But you do it in a way that is psychological and emotional. And then you try to emotionally guilt trip like that ain't really what you're doing and that ain't really what you want, but that's really who you are. And then you wonder why you keep attracting manipulators. You will always meet yourself. You will always meet yourself. Always. And you will always meet yourself in that element because you do not trust yourself enough to be the fullness of who you are. Because why? Because you don't protect the fullness of who you are. You're scared to be a really kind woman. You're scared to really open up and to really walk by faith. You're really scared to do that. Because you're scared about what it is that you're going to lose and how people are going to see you and all these different type of things that truly do not matter. But at what point do the perceptions of other people fall to the bottom of your priority list and you become the top priority in your own life to where you do not care? You do not alter who you are. As a woman, you should not alter who you are at core. I don't alter who I am at core, sweetheart. Never. Now, I am very multifaceted. I will switch up my hair. I will switch up an outfit. I will burn everything down to the ground and start over. But I do not shift my internal core. I don't change who I am. I don't negotiate on things that are my boundaries. I don't compromise in areas that are consistent for me. I don't do that. And I don't care who has an issue with it. Man, woman, boy, child. Because it literally tells you in scripture to guard your heart above everything else. You are supposed to have boundaries. That's why it pisses me off when believers act like they're supposed to get ran over. Don't piss me off with that. Who told you that? Who taught you that? The Most High never said that. You position yourself for abuse and then you say this is what God... And don't get me started on that clip that I seen about that lady talking about she was ironing that man clothes when he was going to go cheat with his side boob. I want y'all to leave the Most High out of these type of conversations. I do. I want y'all to leave the Most High out of these type of conversations that show a light where you chose to be dishonored, disrespected, and disregarded. Don't you ever pin that on the one that created all of us, because the Most High said that you were created with a godlike nature, godlike character, and you were given dominion. Ain't nowhere in scripture where it told you to be a fool. It told you to stay away from foolish people so that you wouldn't be foolish, actually. Because ain't no way. Leave the Most High out of these simpleton conversations where you decided to disregard and disrespect yourself because you were emotionally dysregulated to the point to where you were desperate enough to accept anything. Because the frequency of desperation is always a dangerous one. Do you understand what I'm telling you? My mother always says a desperate person is a dangerous person. And she ain't never lied. Because when you really think about it, look at how people operate when they get in the space of desperation. Look at how women operate when one man is around and women, baby, she got to be the one to try to pull all the time. Girl, we don't care. Because when you understand the nature and the core of men anyway, sweetheart, what you doing is really wild. Because a lot of the times y'all be thinking that y'all like these men and they're so amazing. And the truth is you like yourself when you are with these men. That's what you like. You like you. You are the one that's caring and coasting and doing all that. Don't piss me off. But here you go changing your entire core. And a woman who changes her entire core for a man is the same woman that gets online and changes her offer because she's seen a girl go viral and she's trying to figure out what she did so she can think that's going to increase her cash flow. It's not. It's not. Because you are not an energetic match to receive something that is for somebody else. You are not an energetic match. You would not receive something that belongs to somebody else. This is why you should not be caught up about things that leave. Loss is a part of every single reality that you create. You're going to lose something. That's why I came up with the mantra that I came up with for myself when I was dealing with my abandonment issues. Because I needed to be rooted in the truth. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. You're going to always lose things on this earth. And every time I felt like I was going into a space where I was about to freak out because I was losing grip of something or something was leaving me, I got straight into what I would tell myself. I am in this world, but I'm not of this world. I am the Most High's girl. I can't lose. Anything that leaves just ain't for me. Is no need for me to get the blues. Divinely protected, self-highly respected, get to live the life that I choose. So I choose myself, I choose my wealth, I choose my health over you. Why am I about to freak out? Because I ain't never lost nothing I ain't never lost nothing that was for me. I ain't never lost nothing that was for me. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. I've never lost anything that was mine. So for what? For what exactly? What am I worried about? Why am I altering myself? I got to change myself? I got to alter who I am? Absolutely not. When I was created beautifully and wonderfully made, and you mean to tell me I need to alter that? Don't piss me off. That's why I said a woman that will change her core for a man is a woman that will your throat behind one because she's disconnected from herself. She don't believe she can get more. That's why she act like that. She operate from a space of desperation, and baby, let them have it. Let the desperate be a danger, continue to be a danger to themselves. Let the desperate continue to be a danger to themselves. Okay? Another thing, another sign of emotional dysregulation. Secretly panicking when your stripe is quiet for 3 days. Ain't nobody bought nothing in 3 days. Now you freaking out. I need to change my whole off. I need to change my life. I need to do this. I need to go write down. I need to meditate. I need to go write this down. I need to buy this manifestation journal. You need to work on your trust. You need to work on your faith. There's a really amazing business owner I know, and she always talks about how every time when money gets low and things happen and sales are coming and slowing her business, she gives. She sows a seed. Every time, if you have the mindset, thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. If you have the mindset, every time I get, I give, you're never going to lack. Everything has always worked out and has always been on time. What has worrying done for you besides ruin your spleen? I'll wait. What does worrying do instead of, other than stop you up? Y'all ever seen children who are worried, who get scared and they can't go to the bathroom? That's because they spleen. Yeah, it's the thing. You really can worry yourself sick. Y'all thought it was a joke? One of my modalities that I have, I'm an energetic psychology practitioner, sweetheart. I can tell you what emotions, I can tell you what anger does to your liver. See, I can tell you what worry does to your spleen. I can tell you why your menstrual cycle is like that. And this is coming from someone who had a 21-year issue with her menstrual cycle and have helped a multitude of women get their cycles on track. Okay? No more being irregular. And I am 41 years old and my cycle is 4 days. No pain. You understand what I'm telling you? I don't be cramping. I don't be out here where I'm falling down to the ground to get out of the rain. I can't function. And this is coming from someone who had irregular periods for 21 years to the point to where a period would come for a month, sit there and stay for an entire month, not coming for months, up, down, up, down, up, down. Baby, my organs was out of whack. If your period is not doing what it needs to do, it's either your heart, it's either your liver, it's either your kidneys, or it's your spleen. And I've helped a multitude of women heal that. It was another queen who was on a live last week who said, yep, I'm 42 and now my period is down to 3 days. Ma'am. Do I look like I'm perimenopause? I'm 41. A nice 41. Turned 41 in December. I look better in my 40s than I did in my 20s because I have a better understanding of what stress and emotions are all of these. A better understanding of what stress and emotions are all of these things do. Feeling like you need client payments to secure that you're an expert, obsessing over algorithms, changing your offer, trying to go viral from what you saw, panicking because you ain't got a payment in a minute. Let me tell you something. When it tells you in scripture to keep your mind on things that are above in Colossians 3:2, you really need to focus on it. It's teaching you to focus on what's coming. Before I became a 6-figure plus entrepreneur where I built my business from the ground up, no hustle, keyword, no hustle. And this is my second business. The first business was full of hustle. I was a makeup artist. I was full of hustle. And I was clocking $1,500 days. But I was hustling. I was broke. I was 100 pounds heavy. I was going baldness in my head. I was hormonally imbalanced. And I was tired as hell. And it was because I was around here needing client payments to feel grounded, altering my offers and doing all this different stuff, not having my mind meditated on the energy of a woman who could hold a 6-figure plus business. See, a lot of you want 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures in business, but you can't even hold a conversation when somebody call you and say, hey, we want to give you this money. The first thing you do is panic. Hey, that money for me? Why you want to give it to me? Well, what I do to receive it? Then here you go, well, what I'm going to do? I'm about to mess it up. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All these different things. You want these things, but you truthfully can't hold it if somebody was to drop it in your lap right now. You feel like you're going to mess it up. You feel all these different type of things. But see, if you have the vision in mind and you truly pay attention to, because there's a scripture in Sirach 2:2, and you can catch this in the Ethiopian Bible. It says to set your heart right and constantly endure. Don't make haste in time of trouble. You understand what I'm saying? The muse, which I believe that all women are muses, which is why I have a program called the Magnetic Muse, and I have a 6-week program called the Muse Activator. A muse, by definition, is a work of art. She is a source of inspiration. She is art, and I am a muse. And I teach other women how to activate their muses so that they can magnetize the things that they want into their reality. You want to know how I lost 100 pounds and all these things and how I built a 6-figure business? How I did all that stuff is because I activated my inner muse. So what I'm saying is, with that scripture in Sirach where it talks about setting your heart right and consistently enduring, and don't make haste in time of trouble, it is saying that when things are happening, when things are going all over the place, muses are not panicking. They are prepared. Okay, let me get this because TikTok is which of these objects are ugh. Hold on, y'all. Boom, boom. There we go. So what we have to understand is that this is not the time to panic. This is the time you should have been prepared for. And if you have been following me for a while, I've been telling y'all for 3 years to get prepared for what's happening right now. And I've been telling y'all all this year, please get prepared for the next half of this year. Please get prepared for June through December. June through December gonna be something. They've already said going to the spaces, ports are empty, all these different things. I have been telling y'all this for a minute. This is not the time for you to panic. You should be preparing. You should be activating. The muse does not run into panic. She anchors herself deeper into presence. You should really be planning yourself spiritually to figure out what is your move. And let's get into it when it comes down to the law of rhythm. If you don't know how to ride the waves, okay, or how to ride your internal cycles, you will constantly collapse in external ones. I'm going to say that again. If you don't know how to ride your internal cycles, then you will consistently collapse in external ones. If you don't know how to manage and regulate your emotions, if you don't know how to be a master of self, what will happen in your external reality is that you will be mastered by everything else around you. People will seem to get over on you. Life will seem to get over on you. Systems will continue to get over on you. And it is all because you are not a master of yourself. You think you need a new business model because you think that's what's going to make you sell. You think that's what's going to put you in position, when in reality, you need for your body to be able to trust your voice again. You do not trust yourself. When women say to me, I don't trust people, people of this, people of that, it ain't that. You don't trust yourself because of the decisions you made when it came down to people. It ain't that you don't trust people. You don't trust your own decision making. That's the truth you need to tell yourself so that we can deal with the reality and start rebuilding trust. Everything goes back to, like I said, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, then socially. Sweetheart, you have 5 levels of self to deal with before you even think about adding somebody else to the mix. You got way more. You've got to understand that we are in a season that, yes, tariffs are going to continue to rise, FYI. But on team, let me help y'all out. Market is going to continue to shake. But on team, let me help you out with that too. But the regulated women The regulated, high-performing women who stand in the fullness of who they are and in their leadership and their expertise, they will reign regardless of truth. I put a prompt into Chat GTP, right? GPT, whatever. I put a prompt into it, and I asked it specifically 5 years from now, when it comes down to my business model and it comes down to what I do, what suggestions would you make, or do you believe, or pivots do you think that I should make? Because I wanted to see, right? You know what Chat basically told me? Chat basically told me that in the next 5 years or so, thought leaders are going to be extremely important, and basically told me that I'm not a tech company, and my leadership and my expertise is literally what is going to position me as one of the highest thought leaders within the next 5 years if I handle and if I move accordingly. It basically said, when it comes down to me, AI is not meant to replace the type of work that I do. I am probably going to do a lot of work that is going to outlive me, and probably because of the type of work that I do and how I operate and how things are, my business really, really, really gets down to the work of the soul. And so there is no replacing the expertise that I have, because the expertise that I have comes directly from divine wisdom, which comes from the Most High God. And that is literally what Chad said. That is literally what Chad said. Chad said, don't even think about altering any aspects of who you are. Learn how to position yourself in different aspects and in different spaces to expand it, but don't you alter one thing about who you are, how you operate, and the fact that you get your information from divine intelligence. Chad said, as AI, I am only here to assist you. So when I tell you the future belongs, I told y'all the future belongs to the creatives, the observers, and the innovators. There are people who are going to be getting divine wisdom from the one that created them, and people are going to be wondering how they're going to have this information. It's not going to come from chat. It's not going to come from AI. It's not going to be from that. And those people are going to be able to reign. So let me be very clear with you. Let me be really, really clear with you. The regulated woman is the one who's going to reign. So while y'all out here panicking and positioning, not positioning yourself, worrying about tariffs and worrying about taxes and worrying about the market and worrying about that, you position yourself for poverty. See, worry positions you for poverty. Acting in true faith and operating according to the law of assumption, which is you already know is going to be done because you've already asked the Most High. It's already in alignment. It's already in the place. All you got to do is walk that thing out. See, using the law of assumption and being able to be in the fullness of who you are and operate, that is what's going to expand you. All this, you think you're going to use chat for your cheat codes to be able to do all that? AI is supposed to be working with you. It's not supposed to work for you. It's not supposed to replace you. That's not what it's supposed to be. But if you don't rise to the occasion, if you don't rise to the truth, then you're going to reap poverty for your lineage. And you have to ask yourself if that is something that you desire and something that you truly want. You got to understand that when we look at even the law of cause and effect, when it comes down to your emotions and whether or not you're going to be able to regulate, every single time you leak power, you give power out by worrying. The ways that you give power out: worrying, being overly reactive, reacting to things, allowing yourself to be anxious about different things. Every single time you leak power through emotional reactivity, you create a delayed result in your money and in your movement. I'm going to tell you that again. Every single time that you leak power through emotional reactivity, you create a delayed result when it comes down to your money and when it comes down to your movement. So stop calling it bad timing. It's spiritual misalignment. Stop calling it bad timing. It's not bad timing, sweetheart. It's spiritual misalignment. This isn't a recession. This is a spiritual recalibration, and y'all missing that. Y'all are really missing that. Y'all are spiritual misalignment. This isn't a recession. This is a spiritual recalibration, and y'all missing that. Y'all are really missing that. Y'all are out here Y'all talking about it's a recession, but actually it's a spiritual recalibration going on. Where does it say in scripture that the new heaven was gonna be? Do y'all read? Y'all really pay attention to what it say? I'm really just asking. Because this is not what you think it is. A recession, sweetheart, this is a recalibration. And the truth of the matter is the women who are leading in this space will be the ones who have learned how to trust in divine provision while others are going to chase protection. Let me tell you what that's going to look like, because it's not going to look too high. It's not going to look too high, but let me tell you about it anyway. I'm going to say it again. This is not a recession. It is a spiritual recalibration. And the women who will be leading will be the women who have learned to trust in divine provision while other people will chase protection. The chasing protection is going to look like, I need a man to come in here and help me with these bills. The chasing protection is going to look like, I need a man to come over here and do this, and this means that you're going to settle for any man. And this means that a lot of you are going to position yourself to become prey. Because let me tell you something. As things rise up, other things are going to rise up. And if you think that you're going to be able to chase protection and going to trick these men and think that they're not going to realize the energetics that you don't really like them, let me tell y'all something. DV is going to be on the rise. See, when you chase protection and you feel like I need a man to come in here and automatically take care of me and just do this and do that, and I don't rely on divine provision, I don't seek the Most High for the first step of this, I'm going to choose a man, you position yourself to possibly be prey. See, don't chase protection into a space where you end up becoming prey. See, you think you're being protected, and when in reality, you're about to get eaten. The women who are going to be leading are the ones who have learned to trust in divine provision. And if divine provision comes through the form of a man, and that is the will of the one that created you, then hey, you should go for that. But if it is not in the divine provision for you to chase protection, I wouldn't go for that. I'd be very careful with that. I would take my time with that. This is how women position themselves in situations that they get themselves hurt and they get their children hurt, because they bring children into those type of scenarios. This is not a recession. This is a spiritual recalibration. And this is why I created the Muse Activator, which is a 6-week program. This is for women. This is not, let me say this, not for women who just want to survive the next trade cycle. Okay, because that's what's happening. We're going into another industrial revolution, whether you realize it or not. It's just in the form of AI. Okay, this is for the women who want to govern themselves appropriately. This is what it includes when you come into the Muse Activator. Emotional regulation, nervous system wealth recalibration. Let me tell you something. You're not finna make more money in your business when your nervous system don't feel safe with it. If somebody can't call you on the phone right now and say, I'm going to give you $1 million, and you got a plan for that $1 million, and they can't say that to you without you getting that jolt on the inside and be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You start freaking out. You need to recalibrate your nervous system for wealth. And 9 times out of 10, if your nervous system is not recalibrated for wealth, then love sits on that same thing, which is why I did the love and nervous system masterclass, because love and money sit on the same frequency. So if you have an issue accepting love that's boring because it's not toxic, or you have an issue with accepting or doing the same thing over and over in business, even though it gets you results because it's boring, then you need to recalibrate your nervous system so that you can receive wealth, because the reality is it's not calibrated to receive it, which means you are going to mess it up. You are going to blow it. You are going to do the things that you think that you're going to do in your mind, because you have not recalibrated your nervous system to a space to where you feel safe enough to receive. And that is love, and that is money. Okay? And that's something that we go over. What's also included in the Muse Activator is divine business architecture. You're not doing business according to society. You're doing business according to what the divine has for you. There's a divine design the way that you should do business, okay, as a woman. And what I have found to be the most prominent and the most The most effective has been the garden business model that I created for my clients. You are to sow seeds and reap a harvest. It's a way for you to be able to do this without exhausting yourself and without having to hustle. Y'all, I ain't never seen a gardener hustle. Have y'all ever seen a gardener look I just want y'all to think about this for 2 seconds. Have y'all ever seen a woman who gardens look exhausted? Really think about that for a second. Have you ever seen I've seen tired farmers. Have you ever seen a gardener that is really tired? Gardeners, normally women who I see in the garden, look extremely refreshed. They're beautiful. They just seem like they have joy. Energetically, it's just you're magnetized by them and their energy. This is because when you are gardening, okay, these women are dropping the seeds, watering the seeds, and they going back in the house. They're not standing over the seed like, hold on, I think I see something coming up. They're not sitting around like, okay, God, please let me see a flower before I leave today. Please help me see some fruit before I leave today. They are sowing seeds, watering, and they are going on. They are going on. And why are they going on? Because there is trust there. There is faith that if they plant that little seed, that something great is coming up that they can harvest and feed a nation. Please. It is literally that simple. So when I say we do divine business architecture over here, that is what we do. We operate according to divine systems. That is why my clients can go from 6 figures to multi-6 figures. That is why my clients can go from 5 figures to 6 figures. That is how I was able to build a 6-figure plus business from the ground up. Understanding the business model is divine. You are literally the walking blueprint. And the more you better yourself, the better you do business. The more you elevate yourself, the better you do business. The more you are rooted spiritually, the better you do business. The better you do life, the better you do relationships. Because here's the thing that you need to understand about business and work. Work should actually work around your life. You should not be doing life around work or business. Oh, I barely have a life. What are you talking about? What are we saying right now? Why is it that work is why is it that work is more priority than you having the life you desire? But let you tell you working so you can build the life you desire. That's crazy. That's crazy. Work is to be aligned around life. Not the other way around, sweets. Not the other way around. So like I said, divine business architecture. Also, you're going to learn trust anchoring practices. Trust is something that has to be built over time. And here's the truth that I need you to understand. You don't trust yourself, and taking one course from me or having one conversation with me or doing this is not going to help you build trust. Trust is something you build over time. It is something you have to anchor. It is something you have to practice if you want it to be active in your life. And that is something that we do in the Muse Activator, okay? The last thing that you're going to learn in the Muse Activator is how to activate soft power, and you're going to understand spiritual law. Like I said in the beginning of this live, if you are a woman, there are 3 things that you need to know. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Number 1, you should understand spiritual law. I'm talking about that in the form of scripture. Number 2, the second thing you should understand is the science of yourself. You should be operating according to your cyclical nature. You operate on a cycle, and you should be operating according to that cycle because it is a part of your divine design, okay? The third thing that you need to be very clear on is the psychology of your lineage. If you understand the psychology of your lineage, what is going to happen is that it is a less chance that you are going to repeat the cycle if you are aware of it, if you are aware of the depths of how it impacted your lineage, how it has impacted your life, all of these different type of things. You are going to pay attention to those things, and you can break the cycles easier when you know that. You need to understand spiritual law, the science of yourself, and the psychology of your lineage. This is how you activate being a true keeper of the legacy, okay? This is how you truly operate from the space of breaking cycles, because you understand the energetics around you. So the transformation promise in the Muse Activator is that you don't just make more money. You become the woman that the market can't shake, okay? Because you understand that money is always there. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you Let me say this. If emotional instability has been costing you leadership, revenue, and intimacy, okay, of divine trust, then this is your sign to get active. All right? Don't try to spiritualize your avoidance. Oh, I'm just isolating. God just got me. Stop lying. Don't try to intellectualize your insecurity. Well, I got that because when I was growing up, shut it up. We all got something. This is a time for you to decide to be governed. This is a decision for you to choose to master your own life instead of being mastered. Okay? The women who enter the state of regulation now are going to dominate in the next decade, because all that toxic stuff that they taught y'all with reality TV and all these things. Let me plug this up so I can make sure my phone don't die. All that stuff that they did, y'all, they did that on purpose to make y'all sick. And in this new season that we going into, the emotionally regulated women are the women who are going to win. Because all that toxicness is not going to get you nowhere. Toxic by definition means a slow poison. You should be very careful about the things that you call yourself. You put your own self under curses and then turn around and blame the enemy. You are the enemy in your own life because you steal your own joy, kill your own confidence until you self-destruct. You literally are walking into the path where it talks about it in John 10:10. The enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy, but the Messiahs come to give you life and give you life abundantly. You don't choose abundance. You choose to steal your own joy, kill your own confidence, and self-destruct in the name of being a good person, in the name of being a friend, in the name of being whatever perception that other people have of you, instead of actually operating from a space of abundance, which requires you to be yourself. Everything you want is on the other side of abundance, but you choose poverty. And I can't for the life of me understand that. Will you spend the next 10 years, because I want you to really think about this, repeating, okay, all these cycles and all these things, or are you going to choose something different? And if you want something different, click the link in the bio and get the information about the Muse Activator. We are going to be starting May 15th. It is only 5 spots available. Yes, it is a 4-figure investment. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Okay. If you are looking for something else, there are other options in the bio, so you'll be able to access. There is the emotional wealth toolkit. I don't know if I made that active yet. If not, I need to. I'll make that active. And then I also have a bundle that supports you. And the second one where it deals specifically with wealth. If you need one-on-one support, there's one-on-one support in there as well to be able to work with me. There are 2 ways to work with me currently. You can come into the Muse Activator, or you can get the Magnetic Wealth kit that comes with one-on-one support, okay, for 2 weeks, where you actually get that. And let me break down what's in there for y'all so you'll know. Pull my computer up. And also drop your question in the comments if you have any questions. Drop those in the comments for me, and I will answer them for you in regard to what we talked about. If you have any questions, drop those in the comments for me, and I will answer them for you in regard to what we talked about. Today. Drop your questions in the comments for me. Okay, so you can click the link in the bio and you have access to be able to work with me in a couple of different ways. Okay, so you can work with me in the Muse Activator. The Muse Activator currently is $2,222 for 6 weeks. It is a powerful program. You can click the link and fill out the form and be able to get an email to read more about it, right? The other option that you have is the emotional wealth codes, where you can get access to it, and that's a starter course. That's a starter PDF that you can get on my email list. I also have the emotional wealth kit, which will support you in stabilizing your emotions, reprogramming your mind, and resetting your feminine magnetism for aligned success. That is $197. And then I have the magnetic wealth blueprint, which is a self-paced study course where you get emotional, spiritual, and energetic resets to activate your feminine wealth and sustainable success. And then you have the magnetic wealth blueprint one-on-one private Telegram, where you get 2 weeks of sessions with me along with the bundles and the courses that comes with it. You can click the link in the bio to get access to that. So yeah, those are your ways to be able to work with me. Either work with me directly in the Muse Activator or through Magnetic Wealth Blueprint 101. Everything else is self-study. Okay. What three things, Lovey, that you're talking about? I'm confused. The NYX lip I had on, child, I don't even know. The thing that came off the name, I don't even know. I've had it for years. What questions do you guys have? Drop your questions in the comment section. My face not oily. Drop your comments in the comment sections and questions. Spiritual law. You understand spiritual law, starting with scripture. Understanding the science of yourself, and then the psychology of your lineage. Those are the three things you should know. And those are the three things that I support women in being able to activate. Because those are the things that are going to be very, very important in you creating the results you want. Because if you think you're going to run this life without spiritual law, hold tight and let me know how this is going for you. If you think that you're going to continue to run around and not operate by understanding the science of yourself, catch me in a minute when you burn out. Come see me, okay? And if you think that you're better than your family and that you don't have to study your psychological lineage and the history behind all that, you wait on it and see if you repeat those cycles of the lineage that you refuse to pay attention to, okay? So those are the things that are very, very important and very vital for a woman to understand. And it's important when it comes down to thriving on this earth. It's very, very vital and extremely important, okay? I'm not seeing any additional questions, so I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel. So make sure you click the link in the bio to be able to get access to that. Click the link in the bio to get access to any of my courses, services, or anything like that. I can do questions in the DM, but don't come asking me questions about like problem solving and stuff like that, especially if it's around things that I already offer, because I'm going to send you exactly there where I offer, okay? For those who are wondering what's in these courses, the self-study courses, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint, what's in that one is, let me go back up. You get Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup. You get Wealth Alchemy from Regulation to Riches Masterclass. You get Love in the Nervous System Masterclass. You get The Power of Your Feminine Design, and you get Passively Paid. Those are the things that come in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. Passively Paid, Power of Your Feminine Design, Love in the Nervous System Masterclass, Wealth Alchemy class, from Regulation to Riches, and the Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup Masterclass. That is from spirit to heart to money, baby. All in one, right there. Spirit, heart, money. Deconstruct and Refill Your Cup spirit, Wealth Alchemy, starting to tap into the aspects of understanding spiritual riches. Love in the nervous system is preparing you and getting you set so that you can receive intimacy and the income you desire. Understanding the power of your feminine design is going to teach you how to magnetize that type of energy you have. And Get Passively Paid is going to show you how to get paid for it. Real simple, real easy. Okay? So that is what's in the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. And you can get that with one-on-one support for 2 weeks if you like. And then also there is the Emotional Starter Wealth Kit. And that particular kit, what you get in that one is, you get Master Your Emotions the Feminine Way. You get the Magnetism Reset Masterclass. And you get How to Reprogram Your Mind. Okay? So if you want to get started, if you ever wanted to know how to reprogram your mind to achieve any goal, I'm giving you the formula. That particular course bundle right there, the Mastering Your Emotions, the Magnetism Reset Masterclass, and the How to Reprogram Your Mind, is literally how I reprogram my mind to be able to lose weight, how I reprogram my mind to be able to make more money, how I reprogram my mind to achieve any goal that I've ever desired. I want to be a digital nomad. I use the formula of reprogramming my mind by doing this. You have to reprogram your mind. You have to master your emotions. You have to understand your magnetism if you want to operate from a space of emotional wealth, okay? So the transformation promise in the wealth kit, which is $197, you give a client or firm afterpay, is that you're going to feel more grounded, you're going to feel not chaotic, you're going to operate from stability and not survival, you're going to make decisions with clarity and not confusion, you're going to magnetize opportunities instead of chasing them, you're going to set a new emotional standard in the next era of leadership and wealth for yourself, okay? You won't just be managing your emotions, because that's not what I'm here to teach you to do. You will master them, and you will master your next level as well. So if that's been your issue, getting out of your emotions, getting out of your feelings, this is how you could do it. Right here, 197. If you want to get to the money aspect of it and deal with love aspect of it, then get to the magnetic wealth kit, okay? Those are the two options in addition to the Muse activator, all right? So, all right, y'all, I'm not seeing any questions. I'm going to get ready to go because, of course, y'all know I'm going to eat something. And I've been doing, I've been eating super clean. I've been eating super clean because I've been, like, I told you I had some dental stuff and I was doing, and the way that I have been eating super clean and working out and the way my skin has popped out, y'all, everything that is happening on the outside of your body is literally a reflection of everything that is happening on the inside of your body. And I'm telling you, I've done so much shifting and changing, and my skin is like, I'm telling y'all, what is within is always going to come out. Okay, you want to change your output, change your input. Shift it and change it, okay? It makes a huge difference. And I'm telling y'all, this is only me 10 days in of me, like, really doing it. This 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 days. For real, all right? So, believe me when I tell you, I am a walking testament of my own work. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments. I'm not just doing plant-based. I'm eating salmon. I'm doing a lot of, like, broth. But I'm not doing a lot of heavy meat. I'm not doing dairy. It's just, yeah. I'm not doing all the sugar. And I'm a sweet tea girl, baby. Drinking the sweet tea down to the ground to get out of the rain, okay? And I've been chilling. It's been me and water, a whole lot, a little ginger beer here and there. You know what I'm saying? Because I like ginger beer here and there. But I'm not doing, like, the sugars and the different things. And I'm really eating as low to the ground as possible. And it makes a huge difference. So, but anywho, with all that being said, thank y'all so much. Make sure you click the link in the bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And I am going to replay this as well as the other one, because I know I uploaded it, but I never played it. I'm sorry. So I'm going to fix that. And my muses are graduating tonight. Oh my God. I have my 12-week program is the Magnetic Muse. There's a Muse Activator, and then there's a Magnetic Muse. And the Magnetic Muses are graduating tonight. And I'm so sad and happy. And I'm prepping, so like I said, I can get ready for the next round that are coming, the Muse Activator. So I'm just really, really excited about it. So it's going to be super, super fun. Oh, and Kendra, I have not forgotten about you. I am going to set up your time right before we go, before we have our session, okay? So I'm going to shoot you a message to kind of give you a little bit more information about that. But all right, y'all, I hope that y'all have an amazing day. Let me go find food. All right, y'all, have an amazing day. Please understand and remember that self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship, because you set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself. So you should treat yourself exceptionally well, because you deserve that, okay? Understand? All right, got it. All right, talk to y'all soon.